The thing about Wakanda is that when it was time to get down, everybody got down. It didn't matter what they did, you know, on the side is really kind of looking at the situation on issues politically, morally, socially, and culturally that I know of in the state. You know, we're one of the only organizations that address things unapologetically from a black perspective. That means we don't sugarcoat anything. That means that we're trying to do what we need to get done with no apologies and no handouts. So here we are today celebrating and you know, just trying to get some camaraderie and give a little bit of love. And that's it. I'm Kasim Shabazz.
My name is Kara Warner, and I'm one of the chairwomen of the Black Agenda Alliance over family initiatives.
James Henley, one of the co-founders of the Black Agenda Alliance and chairman of Arms and Logistics.
Annette Harris, I am the director of the community outreach.
My name is Christina Avad, and I'm a member, and to be continued.
My name is Terrell McKinney. I'm one of the co-founders, and I'm also the chair of finance, and I'm also running for the state legislature in District 11.
Hello, my name is Akidra. I am one of the chairwomen of Black Agenda Alliance. I also organize and plan all the events. I have a passion for my community and bringing everyone together. So when I see us in events like this is what warms my heart, and this is what I do it for.
Hello guys, I'm Isaiah Calloway, a member of the BAA. I hope to bring the children on behalf of the BAA to this organization.
It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And I'm here to tell you it's not an accident. But accidents keep happening if you don't prepare to change the circumstance. And I love the fact that this organization, the Black Agenda Alliance, is about the business of changing the circumstance. Right. Anybody ever seen a movie? If you've seen a movie, raise your hand. Some of us like movies, right? But let me tell you something about the movies that you see. See, when the producer and the director make the movie, they have something called the cutting room floor. And what happens on the cutting room floor, see, you done shot the movie, you got it just the way you want it. But then when it gets to the cutting room floor, what they do is they start cutting certain parts out. They start cutting out the parts that won't appeal to all of America. They start cutting out the parts that might be too sensitive. They start cutting out the parts that might be too hardcore. And by the time you get through, it's so far away from the original movie that the original producer and director might not recognize it. Usually about 20 years later, they come out with what they call the director's cut. That's the way the movie should have been. Now, why am I talking about that? Well, guess what? Today, we're memorializing not only the Black Agenda Alliance, but we're memorializing a man that you may not know. His name was just like they did on the movie room floor. They had a cutting room, only they didn't call it cutting room back then. They called it breaking station. And see, what they did was they brought us from Africa and they took us to these breaking stations. And you probably wondered, if they called it a breaking station, then what are they breaking? They were breaking your mind. They were breaking your spirit. They were breaking your commitment. And by the time they got through with the breaking, you had the mentality of a slave. A slave, you see, the truth is, the slave isn't just there. It has to be manufactured. I gotta work on you to make you a slave. I gotta make you think that you're inferior. I gotta make you think you don't look right. I gotta make you think that you don't operate. The stuff that you have ain't good enough. The neighborhood you live in ain't good enough. The people that you're with in this room ain't good enough. Nothing we do is good enough. But now here's the funny thing. The same people that prepared you and me and others to become slaves and see, they had the holy temple that was the center of all the spiritual thing. That was the room with the rotunda on top of it. That's the capital. And you had the goddess Mayat, who was the goddess of equilibrium and justice. They don't know nothing about justice, but the goddess of justice was on the top. Now they put Lady Liberty on the top, but they put a blindfold. Now I'm all for wearing masks because we in a mass situation, but I don't like blindfold on my justice. I want my justice to see, because I'm afraid if justice don't see, it might not be no justice. And justice won't know. And if you kind of look in the mirror, you suddenly realize that that may not be for you. I came to bring reality. I know this is hardcore. You won't see this on your BET. You won't see this on your television. You won't hear it on your radio. This is called reality. And so if I say something you don't like, you can't understand, don't worry about it. Just put it on me. Say he up there talking about himself. But you might find out that when I'm talking about myself, I'm really talking about you. We have to determine our destiny. And I'm here today to tell you what Marcus Garvey said. This is Marcus Garvey's word. He said, first of all, Africa for the African. And second of all, he said, up, you mighty race. You can do what you will. Now I got to dissect that and decode and explode on that one. Up, you mighty race, you can do what you will. So up means to move to a higher place, isn't that right? Like if I move up, it means I take where I'm at and I move to a higher place. But he said, what you will. So that means we got to interrogate the will. I got to interrogate my mind. See, what I will comes out of my mind. Do we visualize positivity? Do we visualize working together? Do we visualize our capability to do for ourselves? Or do we visualize others? Even something as basic as your concept of God. Now, I'm not talking about your particular religion, but I'm saying whatever your concept of God, God is the greatest. God is the most powerful. God is the most honorable. God is at the top of the power. If you don't see yourself in that, then something's wrong. And if you don't see yourself in the highest, he actually was audacious. Can you say that word? Let me hear everybody say audacious. Audacious. You know you got to say that with a little conviction. You know, just put a little something with it. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not good at. That's right, audacious. You see, he was audacious about the idea that we could build economics for ourselves. Last year, we as a people spent $1.5 trillion. For those of you who don't know, that's a lot of money. That's a little change. One little bit short. And I don't know if I go around this room, but I'm thinking I'm going to come up a little bit short. In fact, if I went to every room and all of us, we're going to come up a little bit short on $1.5 trillion. Did you give it to you, or did you give it to somebody else? That's about economic power. Marcus Garvey said you got to give it to yourself. He said if you get involved in an economic system where you give everything you own to me, it's going to work fine for me. It's going to be a little difficult for you. Is that right? Marcus Garvey, you can't have a community if it can't defend itself. And I don't mean just defend itself from outside difficulties. I mean especially inside difficulties. When I grew up, certain things didn't go on in the community. See, we didn't touch elders. We didn't touch children. We didn't disrespect women. And you might have tried it one time, but then we had something called men. That's an ancient concept. You might want to look that one up. It was called men. Real black men who knew when to say enough. I don't know about you, but there are some times where we need to say enough. And we need to say that if the women of other communities are respected, our women should be respected. And that we will not accept anything less either from others or from ourselves. Right? Because if you don't respect, wait a minute now, in the African tradition, Garvey said, the nation rises no higher than the woman. So that's where it starts. And they say the mother is the first teacher of the child. So if you mess up on the mother level, you done messed up on the child level, which means you done messed up on the future level, which means you ain't got no levels. The elevator, what did Prince say? Don't let the elevator. If I go around the country, do you believe that there are some people in our community who would rather give $100 to somebody they never seen that's not in our community rather than give it to me? We have allowed our system of trust for each other to be destroyed so much that we can't build together. I'm telling you today, we need to contradict that. Yeah. I'm going to build with you. I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to say positive things about you. Yeah. I'm going to be there when your situation is in trouble. You be there when my situation is in trouble. And have you ever heard of a united front? See, if you ever tried this exercise, if two people join hands, see, there's a difference. If you come at me, you can knock me down, right? But if I join hands with another brother.
Real community, because right now we have a bunch of neighborhoods and we need real community. And so what we need to do is go to that place in our mind before we can even think about what Marcus Garvey was saying, going back to Africa. We need to go back to Africa in our minds before we can go there physically, because we'll take our American problems to Africa. So we don't want to do that, but we're going to let the African rhythm flow. All right. All right. Look. Homecoming. I said, it's a homecoming. I'm coming home. I said, it's a homecoming. I'm coming home. I said, it's a homecoming. I'm coming home. Oh yeah, it's a homecoming. I'm coming home. Listen up. Marcus tried to take us. Look, Malcolm tried fire. Look, Ida was a rider. Yeah, and Harriet was a fighter. Oh, take us home, home. Lord, take us home, home. Lord, take us home, home. Lord, take us home. Ooh. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Graduation. Mothers must protect them. Fathers can't neglect them. No, 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 no. homecoming. So yeah, let's go there. Let's go to the African rhythm place in our mind. We Wakanda One. You can find more of our stuff at www.onewakanda.com, onewakanda.com. Appreciate your time. Big up Black Agenda Alliance. Peace.
How y'all doing? All right, my name is Just B. I'm an R&B singer here in the city, and Keidra asked me to come and sing for y'all. I don't be knowing what to sing when people ask me, so I'm gonna just do a couple songs. 2 is a couple for me. One of them Keidra wants me to sing is India Ari's Ready for Love, and the other song is A Change Is Gonna Come, right? And I'm gonna get on out y'all's way.
All right.
Watch what do the best that